Hello! As promised, I am finally bringing you the story Phoebe and Her Unicorn by Dana Simpson. Phoebe and Her Unicorn by Dana Simpson. This is the introduction, and I copied this from Google Translate. I am not sure if it is accurate, but you can try reading it and then compare it to this introduction. I would dearly love to claim at least some connection to the origins of Marigold Heavenly Nostrils, the innocently arrogant unicorn who preens so charmingly through Dana Simpson's delightful comic strip bearing her name. And perhaps I can. Scholarly articles have been written, after all, about the fact that prior to my 1968 novel, The Last Unicorn, there were no female unicorns to be found in any of the world's varied mythologies. And in the early pages of that book I did write, unicorns are immortal. It is their nature to live alone in one place, usually a forest where there is a pool clear enough for them to see themselves, for they are a little vain, knowing themselves to be the most beautiful creatures in all the world, and magic besides. A little vain. Marigold would be an appalling monster of ego, utterly self-concerned and completely unlikable if it weren't for her sense of humor and her occasional surprising capacity for compassion, both crucial attributes when bound by a wish granted to a 9-year-old girl in need of a best friend to play invented superhero games with, to introduce to slumber parties and girl talk gossip, and to ride through the wind after being called nerd and Princess Stupid Butt one time too many. For Phoebe is a remarkably real little girl, as bright and imaginative as Bill Watterson's Kelvin, as touchingly vulnerable as Charles Schultz's Charlie Brown. And if these strike you as big names to conjure with, I'll go further and state for the record that in my opinion, Phoebe and Her Unicorn is nothing less than the best comic strip to come along since Calvin and Hobbes. Simpson is that good and that original. Part of the charm of Phoebe and Her Unicorn is the way in which Simpson plays her two characters' opposed world views. Immortal and contemporary, against each other along with their egos. For Phoebe's determination to be recognized as awesome quite matches Marigold's impregnable superiority to the entire human species. Consequently, both delight in sticking the needle in where they can, and on this ground they are equals. There is real affection between them, but it grows by degrees. Simpson takes her time with this, always remaining in full control of her material, including artful cultural references and the gradual development of additional characters and themes. The temptation is to quote at least every gag and panel, but that would be wrong. Enchantment doesn't retail well at second hand. Like Robert Frost's definition of poetry, it gets lost in translation. I'll simply suggest that you go read Phoebe and Her Unicorn in a serious hurry, like now. Phoebe skips rocks over the surface of the pond Phoebe is skipping rocks. Ow! Whoa! You're a unicorn, right? Mm-hmm. And you clearly are a genius. I know, right? 4 skips. Sarcasm. Saying the opposite of what you mean. Looks like the unicorn is being sarcastic when she says Phoebe is a genius. The unicorn does not mean Phoebe is a genius. A genius is someone extremely smart. She is making fun of Phoebe for stating the obvious, that she's a unicorn. Phoebe ignores the insult and assumes the unicorn meant she's a genius at skipping stones. I'm sorry about the rock. Do not be. I was trapped by my own reflection. I am so beautiful that when I see myself, I cannot look away, sometimes for days. I owe you a debt, less attractive creature. What? Trapped by your own reflection means you can't look away because you are in love with yourself. A debt is when you owe someone money or a favor. I am in debt to you means I owe you money or a favor. For rescuing me, I shall grant you one wish. You may wish for anything. I wish for infinity more wishes. You cannot do that. Infinity dollars? World peace is not even in your top 2? I'm a 4th grader. To rescue means to save. Infinity is forever. When Phoebe skipped a rock, it made ripples in the water, and I think it might have actually even hit the unicorn. After all, she said, "Ow!" And that distracted the unicorn from her own reflection, saving her from looking at herself for infinity. Is it cheating to ask for infinity wishes? I wish for superpowers. See here, child. Phoebe, you must keep your wish more realistic. Do you think this unicorn has superpowers? Is this like a dream where the giant talking McNugget yells at me about nutrition? The McNugget is a metaphor. A metaphor is when you compare one thing to another. What do you think the metaphor stands for? Okay, I have a wish I think you can actually grant. I wish for you to become my best friend. Or maybe, some gold? Hey, let's braid your mane. This is a mane. Prediction. Do you think the unicorn wants to be Phoebe's friend? I think the unicorn would rather give Phoebe gold than be her friend. Do you think the unicorn has the power to give Phoebe the gold? I am too busy to become your best friend. Busy with what? I sort of expected a unicorn to have like magic excuse making powers. Wait, I have one. Tail yoga. The unicorn is making excuses. Do you ever make an excuse? What kind? What's the best excuse you have ever come up with? The unicorn does not have the power to come up with a good excuse. More evidence that the unicorn does not have powers. Tail yoga? The art of waving one's tail around? Is that really a thing? No. If we're going to be best friends, you'll need to know all about me. I was born in a golden palace, and a host of angel butterflies sang of the new era my birth would usher in. Also, my middle name is Danger. Phoebe is acting conceited and vain, acting like she is in love with herself, to brag that her birth inspired a new era. You were born at Harbor General Hospital with a slight case of jaundice, and your middle name is Griselda. How did unicorn? How did the unicorn know Phoebe's middle name? And jaundice is a condition where a person has yellow skin. Do you have a name? I do. I am Marigold Heavenly Nostrils. That's the best name I've ever heard. Yes, it is. What is the unicorn's full name? Do you remember? If you tell someone you like their hair, dress, or name, you are paying them a compliment. Once again, the unicorn acts conceited and vain when Phoebe pays a compliment by boasting, "Yes, it is." To boast is to brag. To brag is to talk about how great you think you are. That's conceited. What does it mean to be conceited or vain? Having an overwhelming opinion of oneself. Arrogant. Having an exaggerated sense of self-importance. I hope you enjoyed the beginning of our story, Phoebe and Her Unicorn. Next, I have some homework choices that will help you to practice your English. Yay! Homework choice number 1. Juxtapose, compare, and contrast Phoebe and the unicorn using the Venn diagram. This area would be where you would write characteristics about Phoebe Griselda. And this area is where you would write characteristics about Marigold's heavenly nostrils. And in the center, you would write characteristics that they both have in common. Choice number 2. Write an argument essay with supporting details. Do you think the unicorn has superpowers? Use evidence from the text to support your answer. Choice number 3. Do you know someone who is conceited? Write a biography or make up a fairy tale about this person. Choice number 4. Do you have comics or graphic novels like this in Japan? I think they're called manga. How is this story similar or different from stories you would read in Japan? Number 5. Write a story that is inspired by Phoebe and the Unicorn. Number 6. Write and illustrate a comic strip that is inspired by Phoebe and the Unicorn. You can print off as many copies of this page as you need to finish your comic. Number 7. Tell a story about what is happening in the pictures. You can create your own story or recall what you remember. And finally, number 8, go practice vocabulary from the story Phoebe and Her Unicorn on Quizlet.com. Search Phoebe and Her Unicorn, pages 1 through 14, English, Japanese. So, go to Quizlet.com and I will log out and search Phoebe and Her Unicorn. Here it is, Phoebe and Her Unicorn, pages 1 through 14, English, Japanese. Go ahead and click. And with Quizlet, this is a great way to learn vocabulary. There are flashcards, and this learn exercise, a writing exercise, a spelling exercise, a test, matching, and a game. So let's start with the flashcards. Unicorns are a little, and then just click on the slide, vain. Whoops, let me go to the beginning. Unicorns are immortal. They live forever. Click again. Unicorns are immortal. They live forever. then click the arrow. Marigold Heavenly Nostrils is an innocently unicorn. What do you think goes in the blank? Arrogant. Whoops. Marigold Heavenly Nostrils is an innocently arrogant unicorn. Unicorns are a little, what do you think goes in the blank? Vain. Unicorns are a little vain. Unicorns think they are the most, what? Creatures in the world. Beautiful. Unicorns think they are the most beautiful creatures in the world. Oh, and now I used Google Translate to give you the word in Japanese, and then I want you to think of the word in English. So what is this word in English? Best friend. Creature. Imaginative. Bright. Unlikable. Innocent. Immortal. Comic or comic strip. Graphic novel. This is a book that has pictures, like a comic strip. Characteristics. Similarities. Differences. Superiority. Equal. Superior. Fairy tale. Biography. Phoebe blanks rocks over the surface of the pond. Whoops. Skips. Phoebe skips rocks over the surface of the pond. Ripples. Skipping stones. Pond. Surface. Amazed. surprised, sarcastic, genius, forest, apologize, trapped by my own reflection, debt, less, attractive, less attractive creature, thank you. What's the response? You're welcome. Rescue, grant a wish, infinity, world peace, dollars, realistic, dream, metaphor, nutrition, gold, braid, power, busy, magic, superpowers, make an excuse, yoga, tail, palace, born, angel, butterflies, birth, sang, I was born in a golden palace. A host of angel butterflies sang of the new era my birth would usher in. Danger, exaggerate, conceited, brag, do you have a name? Marigold, heavenly, nostrils, that's the best name I've ever heard. What is unicorn's full name? Marigold, heavenly, nostrils. Compliment, boast, opinion, overwhelming, self-importance, juxtapose, compare, contrast, Venn diagram, argument, essay, supporting details, evidence, text, support, answer, inspired by, illustrate, create, recall, remember, arrogant, vain, beautiful, forever, clever. Okay, so that's 100 words. Practice and see if you can say the words before I do in this video. And then you also have learn, answer every term correctly twice to finish. Okay. All right, got it. Oh, ooh, I don't know Japanese. I'm guessing one. Oh, I got it wrong. Comic strip. Oh, I got that one correct. Perfect. Remember. Ooh. Eee. Oops. I got it wrong. Okay, so that one is the learn. I'll go back and show you. This one is write. Oh. We need to... You'd have to write that in Japanese. Could you do that? Let's see what the options are. Start with definition. There we go. Okay. So this would be juxtapose. Oh, I got it wrong. Oh, well. Okay. So anyway, you can do it, right? Do you know the answers? Okay. So that's right. And spell. Okay, I'm waiting to hear it. I don't hear anything. There's no sound. Sorry, you can't do spell. Test. Oh, this would have to be, so we'd go to options and answer with definition. Let's try that. Okay, there we go. Oh, there's a little test. Ooh. Oh, I like the matching. You can set that up. Nice. Oh, that's fun. You like that? And you can change the options on your test. You can get rid of written if you want and do all matching. However you want to do it, and create new tests to help you learn words. Okay, and then there is also match. Okay, so, no, that's wrong. Oh, I know I have this one. Do you have a name? Woohoo! Okay, juxtapose. Let's see. Which looks like juxtapose? Nope, that's not it. How about that one? Ooh, I got it. Okay. Essay. Oh, how about power? Was this one power? Yes. Arrogant. Yeah, that looked arrogant. Whoa, look at me. I'm starting to learn some Japanese. Woohoo! Okay, and so you can go ahead and play again, and it will give you more terms. Okay, let's go back. Let's see here. You can also do gravity. This is a fun game. Gravity. Here we go. Looks like you can pick ones that are starred. Answer with definition. Okay, let's go. Watch out for red asteroids. Okay, here we go. Oh my goodness, I have no idea. I'll just try arrogant. Oh, I didn't get it. You have to type the answer before you get hit by the asteroid. Oh, it's... Once it gets to the bottom, then I lose, huh? Okay, so... Oh, it was compliment. Okay, so those are the different learning games that you have with Quizlet. Quizlet is very fun. You can pretty much search up anything that you are learning about in school. So let's say you are learning about, the weather. Okay, and you can find lots of terms about the weather. Oh, look at that. They've got it. I'm not sure. Is that Japanese too? So I love, love, love Quizlet. I hope you do. So use the terms that you learned, practice the terms to do the exercises here. Okay, so once you've learned some terms, that will help you to juxtapose and complete the Venn diagram. It will help you to write an essay with supporting details. It will help you to know, to write a story about someone who is conceited. It will help you to tell me how the comics in America are similar or different to the comics in Japan. It will help you to write a story inspired by Phoebe and Her Unicorn. It will help you to write and illustrate a comic strip that's inspired by Phoebe and Her Unicorn. And this exercise is probably the most important exercise. So be sure that you do this part, because I know that this is something that you get tested on, being able to look at pictures and write stories using good vocabulary. Okay, so learn your vocabulary and do that exercise. All right. There is no rush to do this assignment. I just wanted to make sure that you had something that you could work on, since we haven't been able to meet as regularly, and since we only meet twice a week. This will give you something to do when we are not meeting. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed Phoebe and Her Unicorn. I will bring you more soon.